Okay, we had a story we wanted to take a closer look at. This one could be interesting, though. There's some rumors flying out there. This one, of course, comes from the Wall Street Journal, and there's a report that claims that Broadcom is investigating Intel's chip design business, and they're contemplating an acquisition. It says that while Broadcom is interested in chip design, they are very not interested in the foundry business. Now, some of the analysts that are commenting on this are intrigued because that means there's really two roads for Broadcom at this point. They could be taking some of Intel's chip designs to add to their existing product lineup, and maybe they're going to make some more money off of it. Or they could do the venture capital thing where they package the businesses up for sale to other partners and maybe even some competitors, and they just sell it off and make as much money as they can. Now, here's the $64,000 question. No, it's probably more than that by now, Keith. Do you think that Broadcom really is going to take out a loan and maybe buy part of Intel?
Yeah, so our CEO, Dan Newman, did some analysis on this, but I'd like to, kind of give some scale of just how much trouble the foundry business is in. Intel has some $22 billion cash on hand and access to $13 billion in credit that they have not used, a line of credit that they have not used. How quickly can they eat through that is the question. The foundry business, or Intel, loses $4 billion a year right now. That's a substantial amount of money. The chip design and the chip business, Xeon that we just talked about, Xeon 6, all of that is still really good business. Intel makes a really good, solid product that makes money. Yes, they've lost some traction to AMD, ARM, and of course, NVIDIA, but they still have really good market share. The question is, would Hock-Tan make a profit off a company that has gotten stale, aka VMware? Well, it's Hock-Tan.
Here's where I'm curious. I get that having a design division is great. These are the wonderkins that are coming up with all these cool new CPUs and things like that. And Lord knows we've seen enough of that development on the ARM side of the house, right? You've got Apple's M-series processors, you've got RISC-V, you've got all of that other stuff. But there's an underlying assumption that I think people need to be very aware of before this rumor goes any further than it does. When you work for Intel and Intel's design facility, you are working with a known quantity of foundry equipment. And you know what the foundry equipment's capabilities are, and that informs your design decisions. And, to me, it would be like living on a farm and buying a vehicle that doesn't have like off-road tire capability. Like, why would you buy like a low-profile sports car if you lived on a farm? Your purchases, your designs are informed by your capabilities, right? And I think that you would have a hard time designing Intel chips to be manufactured with, TSMC, because they're kind of designed to be built in Intel foundries. And likewise, I know that this is one of the things that Pat was trying to do when he had control of the company, was he was trying to make sure that Intel's foundry system could build out chips for other companies. But I also think that the goal initially, no matter what, was going to be for Intel foundries to make Intel chips. And look, I know that Intel foundries are losing money right now. I'm going to shock people out there who don't have a business degree. Manufacturing loses money initially. You have to get your line set up. You have to get your equipment configured correctly. You have to do production runs. Lines don't make money when they start. They make money right before they end, because the millionth chip that comes off the line is taking advantage of 999,000 more chips where they've solved all the problems, where they've created the repeatable processes. So that 1 millionth chip is way more profitable than your first one. But you have to get to the point where you make 1 million chips. And I think this idea that Intel needs to get rid of their foundries or sell them off or get rid of them because they're not making money belies the fact that they will. And yeah, great, you're getting a liability off of your balance sheet, and you're not losing money. You're also not going to be making money on that back end from your investment. And I know that most of the people on Wall Street haven't forgotten that you have to invest money to make money. I mean, I hope that I'm right.
Tom, I hope that you're right too. The world needs intel. The world needs competition. More competition is better for the for the enterprise IT consumer.